Hey, listen, people and peopleettes. Wow, I am excited. We just got a new Nintendo Direct this week. And I've kind of been on cloud nine ever since then, ready to throw a freaking computer out the window. I won't say it's like the best Direct ever, but it was a good Direct, right? We got a new Zelda. Echoes of Wisdom is coming. I mean, it's a 2D Zelda. We get to play as Zelda. There's just so many things that I want to talk about and unpack and discuss in this video today, and talk even some about some things that I think Nintendo might be hiding from us. Obviously, there's not a lot of knowledge yet because the game was just shown, but we're still going to make some predictions anyways. But since I could talk about this stuff literally forever sometimes, I think we should just jump on into the video and let's just discuss, analyze, and all that, okay? All right, guys, so basically as I get into it, if I need to stop, I'll stop and talk about some things. If not, we're just going to keep on rolling, okay? Cool beans. Let's do this thing. It's hotter than a cobbler outside. All right, love this little scene here, this little cut scene. I don't know, I wonder if we'll get more of those, because I feel like there wasn't a whole lot in, like, a Link's Awakening. New game, though. But you had the Dark Nuts, and I like Link's little, new hood, reminiscent of his Breath of the Wild stuff. He threw it off like he did in that first thing of Breath of the Wild 2, that 2015 trailer or whatever. Little Dead Man's Volley. So, I know that Zelda's been encapsulated in one of those things a couple times, but for me, this is like really reminiscent. There's several things really reminiscent of Ocarina of Time for some reason, and I don't know why. Her dress does that little thing, does a little bit, the crystal, but she's also like running from the castle. It's almost like this was the defeat of Link in the Fallen timeline. But we get the cool little scene, and I love that they've been doing that with these scenes. As she's like come out, Breath of the Wild, Link comes out of the thing, and this same thing happens. Tears of the Kingdom, you jump off the cliff, and you get that like nice pan around of the sky. It's really, really cool. I did want to mention back here, after she gets out, got like some floating stuff back here, and I'm very curious as to what that is. It looks like some, I don't know, like, in one way, they remind me of the Sky Islands. I think that's just because Tears of the Kingdom is fresh on the brain. Because they really more so look like just like floating asteroids or something. But it'd be cool to figure out if that's like some kind of, I don't know, dimension or something. See, like there, though. That looks like grass and trees and stuff. I have heard some people talk about how this world looks a lot like the world from A Link to the Past. And that world has like the dark world, so it'd be interesting to find out if that's the way we got to it, and Link's like stuck there and we gotta save him. But yeah, there's several things, even in this shot, like right over here. I'm pretty sure this is the map to Link to the Past. Very much so looks like it. Beautiful though, and I'm so freaking excited to play as Zelda. So excited. And it looks like, I love the way that like Death Mountain looks in this game.
Hello everyone, I'm Eiji Aonuma,
Hello,
producer
sir.
of the Legend of Zelda series.
So I think it's important what he says right here.
What you just saw was the latest installment, The Legend of Zelda, Echoes of Wisdom.
He said the latest installment, and I've heard some people calling this a spin-off. This is a new Zelda game. We're just playing as Zelda. Like, it's not a spin-off game. It's not like Hyrule Warriors or something. Like, this is The Legend of Zelda, Echoes of Wisdom. Also, everyone who keeps comparing it to the CDI game, stop it. Just stop it. Don't do that to us. Those don't exist, okay? But this is a Zelda game, and I wanted to say that because I feel like some people have, like, said it's a spin-off, and it's not. But let's keep going.
This time around, Link has vanished. Now, it's up to Princess Zelda to
I
step
love her
into the
little
protagonist
knights
role.
here coming up.
You might
The
be
castle looks
thinking,
really, really
will
cool, too.
Zelda fight with a sword then?
And the
Here,
sword
we wanted
thing,
to create a
I know
new
that we got the
gameplay style that
wand,
breaks
but
conventions seen in past Legend
I
of
think
Zelda
there's something we
games
should
with a
pay attention
top-down
to that
perspective.
comes on a little bit later in the trailer, too.
To explain more, please take
Let's
a look at this video.
Go on into the video, though, and kind of see some things here.
Stolen away. Across the vast lands of Hyrule, strange rifts
Okay,
have
so back here on the back right, and it's still got that like faded kind of look that Link's Awakening did in the corners. I think this is going to be like, you know, your River Zora area. And I believe one of those is a shop, I believe. It looks like that one in the back right has like a logo on there. So I believe that's going to be a little shop. That's kind of a cool little thing. I don't know what we see here. Do you see all this? This is like a platform, and I just now noticed it. It's almost like, wait, hold on.
Strange.
Of course, people getting abducted into the rifts. That lady in the last shot, Link in this shot. Very curious as to how those play into the game. Wonder if they said, hey, people thought it was Tears of the Kingdom, and that's not a bad idea, but that's not what we were going for. And so they went with the rifts and then made a whole another game out of it.
Including Link. Now
Our boy's
alone.
going. And right there's another looking little like floating thing. It looks like that might be like a box or a brick or something on a stone. So things don't look necessarily right side up here either. So that's interesting.
Zelda meets the fairy Try.
Zelda being in jail. I'm wondering what that's about. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see what in the world's going on there. And I really don't know how to feel about this fairy. I want the fairy to look like Navi and the others, but I'll accept it as a fairy.
Staff called the Tri-Rod and sets off on a journey
Looks like a
across
freaking
Hyrule.
One of those things with Rosalina.
To
And I love that
save
she
her
wears the
kingdom.
freaking hat. It
Once
looks like
you learn
Y
an echo of
is the only
something,
like
you can recreate it
thing that we're
whenever.
gonna have, right? So this is what I wanted to talk about, like with the sword. I said we'd come back to it, right? So up here on the top right of the screen, you have the table, and it's like selected to Y, right? But over here on the far left, you have the rod sticking out. Yeah, I can actually point at it with my freaking mouse. So you got the Y, this dude, and then you've got the rod over here. So the reason that I wanted to bring this up is at first I was like, well, maybe the rod is over here so that you can pull out it as a weapon. But I feel like really all you need is one button. So Y is probably to use the properties of the rod. I wonder what the other directions on the D-pad are going to be for, or what, you know, for these other directions here. Because it really makes me wonder if there will be other weapons, if they will, just hear me out, if there will be some chance of us being able to turn into some form of Sheik. That would be cool, because we do see Impa doing some stuff later. I don't know. I just feel like these other three, I feel like the Zelda team isn't going to tell us everything in the first reveal, right? And I just don't think that it would be necessary to have the rod here if you're going to use just Y to like pull up whatever it is. And I assume that the drop-down menu that pops up later, that you get to select different things, you could just hold Y for, right? You wouldn't have to have a separate button for that. So I don't know. I'm just very curious. I don't know that a sword will ever be one of them, but I'm wondering if we'll get other items. The sword for Link is his main weapon, but he uses the hook shot, bows, things like that. So maybe other things will get added. Maybe it won't be as much as Link, but I feel like that pause menu's got to have some stuff in it, right? I don't know. Maybe it's just going to be the echoes, but I really, really think that we're going to get some more stuff, because that right there is over here in this corner. Also, something that, and I've seen Zeltic mention this.
Even if there's a wall blocking
It seems
your
like
path, you
these
can create
4 triangles means that she can make up to 4 echoes, and it seems like they progress later, because 4 is more than what she starts off with, I believe. So I thought that was interesting.
echoes of tables to get a leg up. You can create
And I really
wooden
like the
boxes,
things that we can echo with.
old beds, and
You can just get
unusual
an echo of every
things like
freaking
water
thing.
blocks.
I kind of got like sidetracked talking
Even
about
if
the
there's
little
a
dots
wall
there.
blocking your path, you can
I love
create
the
echoes
mechanics,
of
though.
tables to get a leg up.
It reminds me a lot of Tears of the Kingdom,
Just
being
like
able to
that.
play the game however you would like.
You can create boxes.
Now, this little area reminded me a little bit of a ranch. Not sure that it is. It could also be something like a village, like Kakariko Village or something. But just this back here is making me think of a ranch. But I love this little cat up here. This cat is beautiful and needs to be protected at all costs.
Old beds, and unusual things
I love all the different
like
things
water
that you can
blocks.
create too. I love that water
How
can
you
be
use
created.
them
It makes me wonder if like
separately or
other
together
elemental
is
things will be able to
entirely
be
up to
created
you.
too.
Learn
And if elemental
create
stuff will play
echoes
a
of
part like it did in Tears of the Kingdom Breath of the Wild. I
Pride.
kept looking up here throughout the trailer and never seen anything else pop up here. And I think that's purposeful. I think they're holding back on us, guys.
At what you
I really do.
discover.
Love this little part here. I don't know why she's coming in through the side, being a lady. There's a Gerudo, and I'm loving it. I'm loving this design, loving these guys. With her being a lady, I'm thinking she should be allowed to be in here, but she creeped over the wall, so I don't know. Maybe that was just for the fun. Maybe the Gerudo town in this game is very difficult to get into.
Even battles will look different. You could pick up and throw a rock echo, for example.
And I do think that
That's
even if
not
battles
all,
look
though.
different because you can fight them this way, doesn't mean that there
echoes of
aren't
monsters.
alternatives to
After
fighting. Like
doing
if we
so,
were to
the
become Sheik. If
fighters
that
have
is an
different
ability, though, I
abilities,
think
so
that'll
choose
be
the
like
one you want to
much
create
later in
based
the
on
game.
the situation.
It does seem like this
Wisdom
is going to be the
is key.
primary way to fight. So maybe these abilities over here, they may not even be the Tri-Rod. Maybe it's just a separate item. Maybe you only get like 4 items in the game or something.
After all.
Okay. Running away from... So it looks like, and I don't know if that's the beginning of the game or what. She's wearing this, so it can't be right after the very, very beginning. But I wonder if you're going to get in like locations where you have to run from this, and it's like a timed thing. I love a freaking like timed thing, kind of like in Ocarina of Time. You have to get out of the castle in a certain amount of time. Just this chasing you down the hallways. Maybe after you beat a dungeon, you have to like escape the dungeon through the quickest path, or you get sucked into the void yourself. I think that will be really, really cool. And it's also possible that this debris back here is just this broken up stuff. Like it's just now in the void. Being able to walk on top just doesn't happen. So like this really is more of a sandbox game in general than what all of our past 2D Zelda games are. It seems like 2D games have also changed, not just the 3D games. Of course, we got this little wind-up toy that she gets to use here and just blast like a freaking bunch of enemies at once, just taking them all on with her little machine gun Octorok guy. That was really, really cool. I don't think it shows anything differently, but I don't know if that would be like a separate ability. But you know what? Look at this, guys. She winds it up. That thing's not up here, and it's still not up here, even in this scene. It's not up here. It's not shown. And I would think that this is a part where you're exploring combatant, like, right? So I would think that the Y should be up here and that. I could be wrong. Maybe that just disappears whenever you pick something up like that. But I don't know. Maybe it's more proof that something else is going to happen. We're going to have some other abilities. I do hope so, though. Getting to fly crossed on one. I want to look back on these scenes real quick. With this guy having some white hair, you got the Sheikah hat here. These lights from Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. This very well is probably a Sheikah dude. So that gives me hope that we're going to see a lot more Sheikah people in future games. Like, I was really, really hoping the Sheikah would become, because really until Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, they weren't as prominent of a race. They existed, but usually it was just Impa or someone like that. Now we might get to see them a lot more. I don't think this person is Sheikah unless they just dyed their hair or something. And it looks like there's some blacksmith stuff going on here. That's really all I'm getting from here, other than this is probably some kind of furnace as well. So this is like a blacksmith kind of area. So maybe we come here to, I don't know, get some upgrades for any weapons we do have. Maybe even the Tri-Rod can be upgraded in like a blacksmith kind of way. So, and honestly, this is another thing that's just like got me, I don't think it's going to happen, but just kind of like hoping that we get like a form of Sheik, and maybe Impa is like at some point going to train us in that kind of style. I think that'd be really, really cool. But it is older Impa. I was trying to get a glimpse of her. I think I can if we go back. It is an older, Impa. She appears to be a little bit older, so not young. Really, the only young one I guess we've ever gotten much was Age of Calamity. Most of them are older. Link. Love this one. I love that we don't only get the River Zora and the Sea Zora, but we get the Zora. They got different colors still. And I was so glad to see that's not going to just be in Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. You know, they used to just all be that kind of silverish blue color, almost like the color of, I'm assuming this is their queen. But we got this blue guy. We got the Silver Queen now. It'd be cool to see the River Zora come in different colors, but loving that whatever in the world's going on here. Zelda's here. And there's a whole shindig going on, right? And I'm loving it. And I'm so ready for it. So ready to see what's going on. I love her little feet. He looks more like a dang crocodile. or something. But I'm loving that they're both in here. And here in a second, that guy reminds me a lot of Ocarina of Time, the little Deku scrub. Reminds me of Ocarina of Time.
Kingdom.
And then this Deku tree reminds me a lot of Ocarina of Time. Now, this being here reminds me more of like Breath of the Wild and some of the other games, because obviously that reminds me a lot of like the pedestal that the sword is in, right? Happens in Breath of the Wild and doesn't happen in Ocarina of Time. Now, I really think that all these similarities to Ocarina of Time are just like design choices. I don't think this is gonna they all, I guess, mostly follow Ocarina of Time, but it would be interesting to see that this come right after it be in between it and A Link to the Past, but I don't really think so. I don't think that's what's going on, but I do think it's connected to the Link to the Past world, because the map looks very similar. It really does.
Is now in.
Of course, we get to go down here. We're actually underwater. Love underwater exploration in games, in Zelda games. So really cool to see that. And we got some enemies up ahead.
Zelda's
I'm sure we can create echoes of. And that's some kind of like freaking rock. It reminds me, that looks like an eye right there. Probably the weak point. It reminds me a couple of like Golem bosses or whatever. But yeah.
How was that?
It was pretty great, Mr.
This demonstration of the Echo ability, which channels Princess Zelda's wisdom. There are a lot of echoes.
And of course, it shows a few more echoes here at the end of the game.
I haven't counted them all.
I love that one. Because it makes me wonder, like, it'd be really cool if you could echo a boss, and maybe that's something that you get like way later in the game, but you echo a boss and you're able to use it against, I don't know, other bosses, like the weaker bosses against the stronger bosses, but it's very limited or something from the bosses. It'd be cool. I love these look like Skulltulas with their like little like faces on their back. Love the designs of those guys. That's really cool. And I love that you get to use their webbing as like a
how you solve
rope.
Puzzles and battle enemies.
I also love the fact that we're using chairs.
Used. In short,
love that little fire guy.
Each player's
and then this one's probably my favorite one. Getting to use a Redead is freaking amazing. We can use, and it looks like it doesn't affect Zelda at all. It just freezes up these guys. So that's really, really cool. And I'm wondering what other like enemies that we'll get to see in the game, because I'm sure they didn't show some of them. But got these dudes frozen, and now you get to go in there and just attack them.
Different. The Legend of Zelda.
I mean, we really don't have to wait that long, guys. It's in September. I mean, it's June right now. That's 3 months away. I think that we'll get to see a little bit more about it before then, whether it's just like a separate presentation or maybe they'll talk about it, because we sometimes get a September Direct then. That might be when they start talking about the Switch 2 and stuff. I'm not 100% sure. But it's really cool to see like Death Mountain back here. I love this. This looks like it's all like covered in ice. I can't remember. I'll have to go back and play A Link to the Past again here in the next couple days just to kind of like refresh my brain of the area, but it's possible. I can't remember if there was a iced area up here or not. Of course, we got heart pieces coming back, even though this is a new game. It's not going to be like shrines and stuff. And this little treasure chest is interesting. It's just stuck in the ground. Reminds me a little bit of the Octoroks, but I don't think it's going to have an Octorok underneath it on this one. I think you're just going to have to pull it out of the ground. But yeah, I'm freaking excited, guys. Not only does this mean that we're getting a new game, but this means 2D Zelda isn't dead, and I was worried that it was. I was really worried that it was. I'm hoping that what the Zelda team can do, they've said they want to put out a new Zelda game every year. And I think that includes like ports and things like that. So if they could do one of these every maybe 2 years or 3 years, then those big games come out like every 5 to 6. You know, that big game, I feel like you could have like a 2-year break after like a game like Tears of the Kingdom, even though it's barely been a year yet, and we're getting this game. But you have that gap, and then bring out one of these guys, then bring in a port in the years in between. I mean, really, really cool things are happening with the Zelda franchise right now. We're getting new games. We just had Tears of the Kingdom a little bit over a year ago. We just had the year anniversary not too long ago. Now we're getting this game. We're actually getting to play as Zelda. We're getting the Lego Zelda set. That's really cool. And I wonder if this game will be used to test a few things. One, test whether fans are like cool with playing as Zelda. Maybe this is a way to test it before they put it in a bigger project like a 3D game that takes a lot longer and a lot more resources and things. It makes me wonder if they are still testing to see if people are still interested in 2D games. So I'm really hoping that people have fun with this. I know that there's some people out there talking a little bit of trash about it. I've heard them. I've seen it. It's okay. Not every game's for everyone. But I think most Zelda fans are really going to enjoy this. It seems to definitely be more on the puzzle side, probably, than it is the combatant side. I definitely think that that little guy up in the top left corner, you know, the little wand up here, I think that means something, you know, with none of this stuff being here. But we'll just have to wait and see. And, of course, when the game comes out, we'll figure it out together if you want to join me, because I will 100% be taking off work probably that day and streaming this game. Okay? Appreciate you guys. We're trying to get to 300 subscribers. Hit that subscribe button and hit the like. And check out whatever video YouTube suggests would be really cool to watch right here. Peace out, Girl Scouts.